There are a few things you can do with forms, kind of under the hood things that will make it behave the way you want it to behave. The first thing you should be aware of is you can work with forms with another colleague, or with students can work together, and you do that by adding collaborators in here. It gets a little messy if more than one person is editing the form at the same time, kind of like it would in Sheets. It gets a little chaotic when people are moving stuff around. But this is how you would collaborate if you so chose to go that route. Other things that you can do with this gear icon right here, you get into your settings, and you can decide if you want this form to be anonymous or not. So I can collect email addresses, or I can say, no, I don't want to collect email addresses. We have this thing called response receipts here, which means if a respondent wants to get a copy of their answers, they can request that and say, yeah, email me what I wrote, or we can just say it always will send it to them. That's up to you. One other thing to be very, very aware of, especially if you're sending forms out to parents or colleagues that work at other schools, is the default right now is to restrict respondents to be people with lislawanda.com email addresses. If you want to be sending this to somewhere outside of our school, you need to uncheck that option right there. Other than that, you'll be able to limit to one response, and this can only happen, like it says here, respondents will be required to sign into Google. So if parents have Yahoo addresses or Hotmail or something like that, sorry, we can't really limit them. Google can't handle filtering out those kind of responses. Other things they can do is they can edit after they're done submitting. They can go back and say, no, I want to answer that a little differently. Or you can give them the ability to see how other people have answered. That's totally your call. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about here for options that you can give to your forms. You can show a progress bar. So if it's a particularly long form, this is actually kind of a useful thing. They'll see a little progress bar down at the bottom saying, hey, you're 20% done, or you're 80% done, you're almost done. You can shuffle the question order, which will probably come in handy when we start talking about quizzes later. You can give them the option to submit another response right there. And you can also put in a personalized confirmation message